right. Well, hello, everybody. Let me, just for reference, let me launch my War Thunder. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to change that. Shit. I had Epic Thunder enabled. I forgot to go into my settings and disable it. I'll have to restart War Thunder later. Oh well. Okay. Turn this thing down a little more. So, I am going to see if this works. Oh yeah. Here we go. Shalom. Shalom, Magic Turtle. Shalom. So basically, this stream visually is probably going to be really boring until I switch over to in-game for some reason. But I'm just going to keep that in the background for right now. So today I have a couple of friends with me. Let me undeafen myself here.
I logged on to War Thunder for the first time today, and all I did was fuck around in the test rush.
So, yeah. So anyways, everyone, we're going to talk about Israel today for a little bit here. We don't really have much to go on right now. I also don't with any sort of spicy inside information. There's really not any. Let me actually pull up the dev blog too, just because. Oh wait, no, I have it pulled up. So, for a lot of people, there has been quite the shock, and
that's an understatement.
We're not gonna do it. We just did it.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much Gaijin, if I can go find it in Discord, someone literally pulled up the old Q&A from 2019 of them saying that they weren't ready to add Israel because they didn't have enough like of an arsenal. I think it was the quote. Let me go see if I can find it. But
that's where you pull up the video of the black guy going, so that was a fucking lie.
Yeah, we are unable to add them as of this time. They do not have enough of a financial crisis at Gaijin Entertainment to need to sell more premiums.
You know, sadly, you're probably right. To be honest, they were probably like, "God, shit, we're running low on a little money." Pull up the Shekel Nation. So
our KA50 sales are down.
Yeah, KA50 sales are down exactly. If you guys want to, by the way, you can tune into the stream as well and read chat and whatnot if you guys want to. Okay, guys, did you actually post it in our Discord as well? I find it.
Well, you see, still, you're not paying me enough to do that.
Bruh.
Found it. Alright, so let's switch over to here. Let me throw my desktop on. So this was the old Q&A quote, by the way. So they said, the question was, the game already has several Israeli tank modifications and they're all premium and belong to different nations. Why squander such potential when it's possible to create a full nation with a unique tech tree, including armored vehicles from both the Western and Soviet schools, hybrid designs, and of course its own Merkava line? And the answer was, the branch requirements for a separate nation are rather specific and, unfortunately, the Israeli arsenal does not meet these requirements. It's impossible to make a full research tree of ground forces or aircraft for this nation, so we've chosen the current method, which we don't consider to be a waste of potential. Quite the opposite, as players of different nations can try the Israeli tanks. How about everyone who has spent time and money on these Israeli premiums gets either the vehicles transferred, or if any of them are introduced as premiums or entry, they should get a fucking discount so that you're not grinding something that you have in another tree that's premium again or buying it again. But anyways, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, I should say, because I just want to say, for right now, for the Israeli tree, this update, it's only going to be the Skyhawk and the Spitfire premium, which I'll just pull up the dev blog just because it's easier for me than the slideshow. So we have this Ace's Spitfire premium, and he later became the president of the country. I'm not really going to go over too much of the dev blog itself because everybody already probably published their dev blogs on it. But just to kind of get through here and get to the lowdown, 2 premiums, similar to how the Swedish Air CBT was. One of them's a prop, so World War II. One of them's going to be Cold War, given this A4E late. So, essentially, pre-ordering this will get you into the CBT that will happen later on. From what I've been told, and from what I understand, and it is public information as far as I'm aware, the real tree will not be coming with this update, just these 2. So it'll be coming later, probably in December, and I'm assuming a ground tree sometime next year. That's what I'm just going off of. That, from what I understand, pretty much on the same page as most of you for information. So, what do you guys think? Arrow and...
It's a waste of time and resources.
Yeah.
A bit late, you could say.
Yeah, friggin' like what, 3 years too late? When was the first one added? When was the first?
The Magox 5 would have been the first one.
Yeah, when was that added? And when did people start asking for that shit?
Yeah, the first Merkava or whatever was added in like 2 years ago, I think, or more.
Is it 2 years? I feel like it's 3.
I think it was either 2 or 2.5. I don't think it was quite 3. It might have been though.
It feels like 3 because what was it? It was White Rock Fortress came out
2018. 18th of February 2018.
So what's it? It's 2021, 20. Yeah, so 3 years. Well, 3.5. I'm having a fucking stroke.
But anyways, it's been 3 years basically. So, well, I'm going to get into the bread and butter here of what I wanted to mainly talk about today, and that is everyone obviously being like, copy paste. And that is pretty much the biggest sentiment. So, you know, I'm going to get right into it. Look, the Chinese tech tree in War Thunder was the first true, real copy and paste tree. I mean, I know we got the Shermans in every nation and Phantoms, stuff like that. China's tech tree up until tier 5 is basically identical, with a few exceptions like the ZSD63 and the Feng Kong, is literally identical to the Russian and American tech trees. Like, just literally the same vehicles reskins. As you start to go up in tier, they start to have, you know, like different upgrades. Like if I switch over in game here, pull up China, which I haven't even played. I've played some test drives and shit, but I'm not grinding this nation because, I mean, again, with a few exceptions, stuff like the, you know, the M8, which was an event vehicle. You get the LVT and stuff, which is an event vehicle. This is all literally the same with very, very few exceptions. This is...
where's the 222 that was supposed to get for SBAA?
Who gives a shit? But anyways, so with the real only thing standing out is very, very minor changes. Like, you know, like ZB and stuff. But for the most part, this is copy and paste until you get to tier 5. And if you think about it, the ZTZ 99s are just reconstructions of the T72. The only real true different 99 is the final one at 10.7.
Yeah.
You know, that one gets the upgraded like the upgraded like turret design, optics and all that stuff, right? So
I mean, at that point it's kind of just like eye candy. Oh, it looks different than a T72, but it plays exactly the same. It's literally exactly the same.
Yeah, on top of that, they gave them the, what do you call it?
Spot the image in...
I meant to hit Alt-Tab, not Alt-F4, whatever. Either way, it proves my point. That's all I really needed the actual game for.
Spot the difference in these two images. They're the exact same image.
Yeah. Tell the difference between this picture and this picture, the Office meme? Yeah.
Yeah.
But essentially... The ZTZ-99 is literally a T-72 with a different design, just very, very minorly. It is practically the same tank, right? The Israeli tree, well, it does have a lot of stuff, a lot of hand-me-downs, and a lot of vehicles that they were given after World War II and throughout the 50s and 60s, especially during the multiple wars they got into. They, for the most part, pretty much upgraded everything to kind of stand out from what it was. Like, does the ZTZ-99 in War Thunder play any different to a T-72? No. It's
Probably movability, but
yeah,
no.
maybe that. Maybe mobility. But you know, like the Russians got the T-80s. Right? The Chinese air tree, I think the J-7E and the Q-5 are the only domestically produced Chinese vehicles that are like we're starting to get to the era where China actually is like making its own things that aren't just straight up copies. Like they're adding on to things. Like the J-7E's wing design is really unique. You know, so with the Israeli air tree, I will admit that it will be very, very copy and paste for the most part.
Air tree's going to be rough.
The air tree's going to be rough, right? But you know how Gaijin is with this game. Ground RB has been the combined mode for since 2016.
Tanks came out early 20, mid 2015, early 2016.
Yeah, so the air tree is going to be literally practically identical. I will not disagree there. No one will. Okay, they got lots and lots of hand-me-downs and assistance throughout the years, even to this day. But the ground tree is where Israel is going to be, I wouldn't say shine, but is going to kind of be different from, you know, the rest.
Oh yeah, they use
They're
use Bradleys.
What?
Israel used Bradleys as well.
I
No, they don't.
doubt that. I don't
Yes,
believe
they
that's
do.
the case. You mean you mean M113s?
No, Israel brought Bradleys when they were like first made, and then they modified them.
No, they don't have Bradleys.
Sauce.
Yeah, I'm actually look that one up because I'm positive I've seen that.
They have M113s, practical, not Bradleys. Anyways, back on what I was saying. So the air tree will just be leftovers from World War II. It will be hand-me-downs from the British and the Americans and the French. And I did see in the comments earlier, yes, I am aware that it will not start at rank 1. It is impossible for this nation pretty much to start at rank 1 without adding like an AEC or something. It wouldn't make any sense. I said literally a year and a half ago, or maybe 2, I don't remember when the first Merkava event was, that the Israeli tree really should have been similar to how they operated with the helicopter unlocks, where say you reach rank 5 or rank 6 in America, you then unlock a sub tree area, which is Israel, which can queue on its own, but under the American like matchmaker, let's say. Or you can mix the vehicles in like you can right now with the current event vehicles and the premiums. It would, in a way, kind of make the most sense. Now, the air tree would have kind of gotten snuffed out there. I understand that. But for ground-wise, considering most of the vehicles they added for Israel were ground vehicles, it makes the most sense. So, that's obviously not happened. Gaijin is a bit freaking late on this, and now we're getting an air tree at practically the end of the year. It's been like 3 years since the Magox got added, right? So, with the ground tree, as we'll get onto that now, because we'll see more of the air tree later this year. I don't want to go on too much about it because that's going to be the common stuff. But moving on to the ground tree, we will probably see very similar variants, if not the exact vehicles that we already have in game for under the Americans and the British, like with the Shout Call. You're going to see upgrades to those tanks throughout the years, especially the M60s. I think the Shout Call the lead is already like the best version of the Centurion from Israel, as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, you're gonna see that, but like the Magox has the Magox. Let me go over here. You've got the Magox, the 3. You've got the 7 over here. This is a Magox 6B. You've got like the really common variants with a couple of little minor differences in there. But for the most part, like M60s, yes, they still are M60s. But I'm pretty sure that the Magox 7 got an engine upgrade. I'm not entirely sure. But armor wise, the Magox 6B will be mostly like a chemical protection type deal, considering its armor layout. The Magox 7 will as well, but it's a little bit more tougher against kinetic. So they have a more unique thing than just taking an M60. Like, the Chinese tree has the CM11, and that's it. They have a copy-paste M60A3 with thermal, and then they have a fast, upgraded engine, 105 with a dart round patent, right? So that's the extent, really, of upgrades, you could argue, but it's not really even a Chinese vehicle. Like mainland China, if you catch my drift. So you're going to see like actual more unique designs that are more interesting to play around with, and you're going to have more of them. Like I liked the M60. I never bought the Magox 3, but the Magox 3 pretty much played the same, right? Sabra is top tier premium. Yeah, probably. If they really want to, they could. Would they piss off the Turkish? Yes. But I'm not going to bring the politics into it. But that's part of the problem. People are bringing politics into this. Who gives a shit?
So I'm just wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I watched the documentary which said that.
It probably looked like a Bradley to you, but no, the documentary is wrong. Anyways. Look, we can't bring politics into this. It's War Thunder. At the end of the day, you're playing with dumb vehicles. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about the politics? Who gives a shit about the current geopolitical status? Right? Just play the fucking game. They're Magox. They're M60s with more armor. You're gonna have the shot calls. Those will probably be on the lower end. So, with that out of the way, I guess you could say with the Magox, I don't know if there's anything you guys want to add, but that's going to make up, like, I would say, probably a good chunk of the rank 6 area of their tech tree, rank 5, rank 6.
It's a good chunk of their
Magox.
Good lot of their rank 6 area is already in the game.
Yeah, pretty much.
In fact, all of the best vehicles have already been picked out and put in the game. So if Gaijin doesn't, remove their head from their ass and switch those vehicles over to the Israel tech tree, have some pretty skimpy lineups.
I mean, you'll have like the different variants of the M113 to go along with it, but
yeah, like their light tanks will be the what's it called? 113.
There's just not a whole lot there.
I just want my bads with stingers. That's all I want.
I'm sure they'll have something like a Chaffee.
I want a Chaparral for the US too.
Shermans. The Shermans are going to be fun. That's the other thing. For once, the Shermans won't just be copy paste. They'll have new guns.
They have a few IFVs.
Yeah, can we get a Namer?
What does the Namer even have on it?
Huh? Well, I think there's one with spikes.
Yeah.
But we need to get the one with a 50 cal and Merkava Mark IV armor as like a rank 3 SPAA. I think that'd be pretty fun and fair and balanced, and I can't see any problems with it.
I'm kind of calling them adding spikes when they add their ground tree. Kind of feeling that.
Probably.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what the April Fool's event was for, if you think about it.
Yeah. But see, that's the funny thing. If they did that event where they like, okay, we might be able to add spikes in the game. Should we add Israel, yes or no? And then they took a debate about it, and they're like, but the one guy raised his hand, and he was like, but we said we already could. And then they press the red button, he falls through the floor like it's a friggin' cartoon or something. They're like, nope, shut it. Shut it. We'll forget about that.
Just a Doctor Evil moment.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think the Israeli tree was a complete on a whim thing that they decided after the April Fool's event.
Yeah.
Like, it had to have been recently. They couldn't have been planning this. So
No, they can't have been planning this since the last time they added an Israeli vehicle.
because the Israelis
Right.
primarily use spikes ever since like maybe toes in like the 60s.
I mean, like, literally every single time anyone asked, "Oh, are we getting an Israeli tree?" they were just like, "No, no, no, no." And now it's just like, "Oh, look, here you go."
Even though it's now is like a much worse time to add it because they've already
This
added
is the
all the
worst time, the absolute worst time to add it, because you have it in literally almost every single other tree. Or you have
and they're all like, "Well, we can't move it over. We're just gonna do the same thing we always did." Like, you've never had a situation like this where you have dozens and dozens of vehicles that are all in the wrong tree now. Not dozens and dozens, but a lot.
Yeah.
And their main vehicles.
I wonder if they'll make the Tehran 6. They'll probably classify it as a medium, but it is their. I think it was like kind of a reconnaissance vehicle. I think they kind of used it as recon vehicles. I don't know about the Shermans, but these Shermans, these are Shermans, yes, but they're not copy paste. They're like the SA-50 Sherman. Like when I play the French tree, I play the French tree to play something unique in French. I don't play the French tree to play the Jumbo Sherman for like the 4th time. I play the Aero 44 and the SA-50 Sherman and like AMX 13s and stuff. I don't play for the copy paste, and that's going to be the same thing with the Israeli tree. You're not playing for the copy paste. You're going to play for the interesting shit. And luckily they have funny Shermans. I mean, like, look at this schlong. Look at that big ass schlong. That's the 105 variant if I'm not mistaken. They'll probably get this too, the what do you call it? Oscillating turret. Although this says captured Egyptian Sherman. But, I mean, how many of these they've got? Kind of had a relationship with France. I'm not 100% on all of the history, but I'm just going with what I got, guys. Like, I know a lot of people are kind of against this, but look, it's still less copy-paste than China because it's actually being improved on. They're not copy and pasting IS-2s and Shermans and T-34s. You're going to get a couple of them, but most of the tree is actually going to be somewhat different and interesting. The Israeli air tree won't start from rank 1. Yeah, we'll know that about the air tree. The tank tree will probably be somewhat similar, if not the same. It might start from like rank 2, but battle rating wise, it's a whole different issue.
It'll be like rank 3s, but like lowered battle range.
Well, with the Shermans that they have, I don't see any being below like 5.7, which just so happens to be the BR that the Spitfire is at. So it'll probably be, their CAS or whatever.
That makes sense.
I feel like their minimum battle rating, if they don't add really low tier shit, would probably be 4.7.
Yeah, that's got to be drop dead. Like, I don't see
That's
anything
probably
below
where
that.
it will start, because all of the stuff they will give it, like hand-me-down stuff and stuff they purchased and stole and... Well, yeah.
Yeah, like another thing, how do I put this? Why did they tell us this now?
To get everyone hyped. Because there's
I'm
nothing
telling you,
going
they
on.
got like
No,
a cash crunch.
I
They're
get
like,
that.
"Oh shit, we need
do
sales fast."
Like, I get that. Like, they do that all the time. But they're not even putting in the actual air tree. And they're changing something up. So, like not starting from rank 1.
It's probably like licensing issues, because remember, they did that with the Swedish.
They just might not have the models ready. Maybe maybe it's because they didn't have a lot of premiums ready for the patch, because I know they try to do that. Maybe they're trying to fill quota. But if they're gonna give us more detail soon, what is how soon? Next week? After the patch? Or, you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be next week? Is it going to be after the patch? Is it going to be in December? Is it going to be January? because they just dropped 2 Israeli vehicles on us, and of all trees for any sort of like speculation, this tree, and they tell us October 19th or probably the 20th for some of you. Like, really? Like, did they
weird.
have to? They haven't even gotten multiple devlogs out for the actual vehicles in the patch, and they're telling us this now.
Wait,
Why?
when are they planning on releasing this nation?
I would say in December, from what Mike was kind of hinting at. I wouldn't say it was the truth, but Mike was saying all Mike said to us was that the actual tech tree isn't coming now, most likely the patch after. Because that's what they did with Sweden.
Yeah, that's what they did with Sweden. And it literally, there's like no reason to play that vehicle until the tree comes out, because you can't grind anything. Like, you don't gain RP. You're just using it as a silver line grinder, which I guess is fine.
No,
but,
you use it as a commander XP, and what you do is you buy one vehicle and you put it in each slot you have, and you grind so you have commander XP in each one of these slots. So when the nation comes out, you have a whole bunch of commander XP left over you can just use.
That's
what will happen.
Perhaps.
Yeah, because that's the retarded way. Because most of these people will be like, "Oh, new tech tree! Can't wait to dump $50 worth of gold into this."
No, actually, Alpha said something. He said maybe to get us away from the wager and backup shit, which is true. They like doing that. They like throwing multiple shit at once, which we can get to. We can get to towards the end, since that's a little bit off topic of what the stream is. But yeah, like,
could be a distraction.
Probably right.
It's not a fucking good distraction though.
Nobody's talking about the other stuff, so it worked.
And see, like, another thing, like, Israel isn't starting at rank 1, but it's not like they have to. Let's be real freaking honest here. How many people enjoy playing rank 1 and 2 of a new nation that just came out? Or at all, especially if they throw in a lot of non-domestic shit.
Mediocre vehicles.
Yeah, especially when it's rank 1 and 2 are just nothing new.
Yeah, you're gonna be past rank 1 and 2 in like 10 games at the most. I'm sure there's people that like playing tier 1 and 2, but it's not like it's a necessity, because most people, they're advertising the game for top tier modern vehicles. Most people are downloading and they're playing the game and new tech trees for the modern vehicles. So the tiers 1 and 2 don't matter.
For War Thunder, yeah.
Yeah.
You get an ad and it's nothing but Apaches and Abrams and Mi-28s and ATGMs and jets and shit. They don't even
104s and
they don't even like try
bombs,
to tell you that this is a World War II game.
Remember when this was a World War II game?
They should have just split the game off into a separate game with the modern stuff. Like,
instead, they went for a game called Enlisted. They wanted to help make a game called Enlisted with Darkflow Software, whatever the company name is. Instead, they could have just diverged the two games, and they could have had World War II War Thunder and Cold War War Thunder.
They could have made a new game.
They literally could have
Armored
called it
Warfare.
Cold War Thunder. War Game has a ripoff called Cold War Game. They just put cold in front of it, and there you go. Like, wow. Lamau, South Africa doesn't start at tier 1 either. That is true, but they're already in an existing tech tree.
They're merged with Britain. It doesn't sound like that's going to be the case with this. Hopefully it'll just end up being like a helicopter tree, and you will have to grind out a certain amount of tanks in like America or something, and then you'll be able to unlock the tree. That's how I see it going down.
Yeah.
Watch them be like absolute assholes and put it behind like a locked tree.
It's
you don't have T5 in China, so you can't get access to the Israel tree. Just like curveball your ass and be like, you didn't grind China, sucks to be you.
You don't have tier 4 in Germany, sucks to be you.
Wait, no, keep Germans very far away from them.
You know what would be better? You know what would be better? And now there's these German premiums, and I don't know if this is gonna happen, but I just got like a little like premonition kind of feeling. I could imagine them taking the East German part of the German tech tree and
Oh,
making it
no.
another nation tab and adding nations like Yugoslavia into it and other stuff to quell a lot of people's, for lack of a better word, butt-hurtiness that they don't have their nation in game. Because, like, I understand everyone wants to see their nation's vehicles represented in game. That's just pure nationalism. But I could totally seeing them split the East German tree off or something stupid like that, and then make it start at like tier 3 or tier 4 as well.
The Iron Curtain tech tree.
Like, this was shit people were talking about when they first started to add a lot more East German shit, and when they started to add the leopards. Everyone was like, the German tech tree has the mouse and then the leopard 1. It's like, okay, where are we going after the leopard 1? It was the only Bundeswehr tank in the game, if I remember correctly. It was the first and the only at the time.
At the time, yeah. And then they added the JPZ 4-5. What was with it?
Yeah. So this was, and it was before I was even in the content creator program, and I was able to like have direct feedback towards people that gather it. And I don't really use the forums, but I just remember like other CCs and YouTubers having this discussion years ago about where the game was heading. And I really think that Gaijin missed the plot preparing for this, because they know they have plenty of vehicles to add at the time. They just didn't know if they could yet, or if they wanted to. But in the event, they know, well, we got to make money. We got to keep developing and monetizing the game. The German tree shouldn't look like what it is now. The entire German tree shouldn't be that way. Almost all the tech trees in-game shouldn't be organized the way they are. And primarily, it has to... the main focus is the German tree. Because you go from World War II Nazi Germany to having to grind... No, hold on. To having to grind from back and forth from East German BMP or West German Bulldog to East German BMP to West German this to East German this, for the air tree. Because they had the MiG-15 years ago, which was one vehicle. And now we have thousands of vehicles, and here we are, and we're getting a tech tree where they already have 6 vehicles that are all premiums and events.
Well, the other thing with that is you also jump from a vehicle from 45 to, 60 something?
Mm-hmm. Because the first Leopard was developed pretty late on, But yeah, like, this was something that they should have been sorting out before they had over 1,500 vehicles in the game. We were like, what, maybe 800 back then? Between ground and air?
But they kind of had that 20-tier system going on.
No, I'm saying with the Leopard. I'm not saying that Leopard. Far back. I'm saying with the Leopard 1 and stuff.
Well, what was it? The Leopard 1 came out, and the Centurions came out at the same time, and like the T-72 came out, I think, at the same time.
The T-64A, you mean?
Yeah. Well, the T-55,
the KPZ,
I think,
and MB-270 and the T-64A.
Yeah.
Were after we already had the A1A1, the M60 AOS, and the Chieftain? The first
I think so.
Chieftain?
Yeah, it would have been the first Chieftain, because I think just clubbed for, like, the spare time it was out.
Why is Israel coming at all? Well, I don't know, ask Gaijin.
Money.
I mean, in my opinion, as happy as I am that they are actually adding it as a nation, I think they should have just kept going how they were and just adding them as event vehicles.
Yeah, well, I reckon they're doing this.
The opportunity to do what they're doing now already passed.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon they're doing this now because this current patch is very lackluster for anything, really. There's like a few vehicles and bulldozers and bomb mechanics. Other than that, this is a pretty mediocre patch. So they'll be like, ooh, shiny new stuff in the future, guys, come on. Because normally, like, December, they do some stupid build-a-thon event what we've all had to suffer through for years.
Like, I don't mind the mechanics-based patches. They're usually mostly useless or their utility is very limited. But, like, I don't mind when there isn't a lot of content in the game. I don't care.
I don't care.
Because how many people go and they bitch and complain that they can't grind everything, but then they're mad that something new wasn't added.
Yeah.
Well, you play that on the same maps and the same shit. It doesn't matter how much new crap they add.
Yeah.
It's more important to make it more fun.
There are more updates where there should have been a shit ton of maps being added between all the game modes, having different game modes be experimented with. Wargaming experiments with more game modes than War Thunder has. Ever. Like, there's so many updates that were just filled to the brim with vehicles and new shinies. And yes, they were making money. They can still make money off of a couple of premiums here and there. It doesn't matter. But there are so many updates where there should have been new maps for all of the modes. Should have had new game modes. It's just ridiculous. So you have
We're gonna
people...
get to the point in War Thunder where we get like futuristic tanks, like fucking, just something futuristic, right?
Yeah,
like,
they're still going to be fighting on
something
fucking Karelia.
Yeah, exactly. You're still gonna be
Puma
fighting on
IFV,
right.
T-14 Armada, and you're on fucking Karelia, and you're 200 meters from each other on spawn.
Yeah, you'll be like in some sort of
still fighting on Right
experimental-
Rock Fortress and Stalingrad and your fucking T-14 Armada, or you go even more bullshit and you're finding like fucking laser wielding Scorpion tanks or some shit like that, and you still find on friggin' Advance to the Rhine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
like-
side note,
River.
that new air map. Well, I was gonna say that I'm interested in seeing the new tank map. The new air map. Who thought that was going to be for ARB in the first place? That was so clearly an arcade map. The way that it's based off of a real island, I understand that, but that is so clearly an arcade map. I just have to make that little jab in. If that map was put in ARB, it's going to be like Lizao Bay. It's just going to suck balls, and you're not going to want it there. So count it as a blessing. But anyways, Moose, what did you want to say?
Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, but yeah, that little side note there. Who gives a shit about that map? The tank map. If the tank map is also pretty big, we'll have to see the next dev server. Hopefully,
I hope the tank map is big.
Yeah,
We need big maps in the game. I don't care how many people just I can't snipe things from like, or I can't use my APFSD that's supposed to hit things at 2 kilometers at like 0.001 kilometers.
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
Me and Moose, and probably because you're here right now, and a couple of others I know, don't like playing War Thunder anymore because we've been playing on the same maps. I've said this a million times every stream. We've been playing on the same maps since we were literally teenagers. Like, we're all adults now. That's like playing Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and never touching another Call of Duty game for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're going to get bored of it. And the thing is, they're designing maps now for the vehicles that they have in game. The entirety of late battle rating rank 5 onwards was never designed for all of the maps from like 2014, 2015. Or not 2014, but like 2015, 2016. Like, they're not meant for that. They were never designed for that. These tanks don't ever fight in that kind of environment without infantry, which we're not going to have in War Thunder ever. That one's just a given. I don't think that's ever going to happen. We have enlisted now.
Yeah, that's why enlisted exists.
So, like, literally past 7.7, I never want to see Karelia, Kuban, frickin', what else am I thinking of here? What's the other beta map? Carpathians. I never want to see that map. I hate that map with a passion.
Oh yeah, Carpathians. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one.
Literally half the map is blocked off because the tanks are so fast they can get up to the sniping position before you can even get people to the C cap. There's like 10 vehicles in the game that can get past that
Can't
without
wait to
getting
play
shot.
that map in my TIE Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. I can't wait to use my X-wing on a freaking Carpathian.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, I
like,
can't wait to use the Millennium Falcon on Ash River.
Exactly.
Yeah, so-
Oh my
River,
god, Ash River. That's
River.
actually a map I haven't seen in forever.
you don't miss
Oh,
it.
how I wish
Unless
that
I
were true
block
for
it,
me.
I get it all the time. I hate it.
Dude, I can't wait to call in my Star Destroyer on Stalingrad.
How many years in a row did people ask for them to change the terrain of White Rock so it was more friendly to, like, I don't know, half the game's
Everything.
heavy tanks? So, yeah. Also, with the map, we'll get onto that stuff later, but that's enough about the map for now. Anyways, I do want to say also that the Spitfire instead of the Avia S199 is also a pretty funny meme because in World of Warplanes, the only reason I know that plane existed was because of World of Warplanes. I didn't even know that there was like a Spitfire ace for Israel. It's kind of funny, but instead of
By the
literally an
way,
Israeli,
the skin for it looks like it's from like the War
the
Thunder
tournament.
I thought it
thing.
was the Thunder
Yeah,
League.
it looks like a Thunder League skin or a tournament skin.
That's what I thought it was at first, and I'm like, what?
It looks like it's a cool skin, but it looks like it's off the War Thunder Live, or it's like one of the
Yeah. Looks
kinda
tournament
out of place.
skins.
Out of
Yeah,
place. For a new
It's
nation,
very
you have
out of
like an esports looking like tournament camo for a pre-order for a new tech tree.
actually, no. Now that I think about it, fuck. What was the Russian tank? What got like the esports red and gold, red and black
The
skin?
TADU?
C80U?
Yeah, that's it. It looks like the T80U skin for like the esports. That's what it reminds me of.
I mean, it looks basically exactly like that.
Yeah, I know, but that's like for an historical aircraft. This is such an out of place fucking skin.
You know what's
Yeah.
also out of place? The rocket it carries. Like,
Well,
no,
yeah.
is that on any other aircraft ever in the game? Like, is it ever
Probably if they
potentially?
still used props.
So, I mean, the A4 is the A4. Also, Arrow, if you look at that nose, it's already got a quack face. It's got the
It
beak.
does. It does.
Wait, where? I must
If you-
see this.
If you look at the nose,
Yeah.
it already looks like a beak for a duck
The-
face.
The tip is orange.
Oh, it's perfect. I
Quack.
can do it even without premium account.
Quack quack.
Still,
Oh.
this is where you should load up Wargame Red Dragon and just start looking at the Israel stuff and just be like, well, here's early access to the Israel tech tree, guys.
Yeah, I can do that. I bet.
That would be clickbaity as fuck and false advertising. But
Who gives a shit? Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to get to that I know is still on my mind right now. Before I get into a couple of vehicles, which I mean, pretty much everyone should know the Nesher, you know, the Merkavas. We'll in time get to that. I mean, like I said, the air tree is going to be pretty copy paste.
And the air tree is going to be pathetic, to be honest.
Is it the Nesher or the Kafir? The Kafir is the redesign of the Mirage, right? I mean, I know the Nesher kind of is, but the legitimate, like, Israel was like, okay, we're going to make something that's better than just a normal Mirage. It was the Kafirs, right?
I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
Because I think the Nesher's for... I get my wars mixed up. 6-Day War?
yeah, 6-Day War. Actually, now that I think about it, what are the odds that they're making this tech tree so they can add in Arabian and all the other countries there, like Egypt and other stuff?
That's
captured-
not gonna happen.
No.
No, not like tech trees, but captured Egyptian
Like premiums?
X
I mean,
vehicle. Yeah,
they
But
could
for
have
what
they could have just
nation?
put those in the original
For
nation, like how
Israel.
Russia has a Syrian vehicle. They wouldn't need to add Israel. Like, that's just making it more controversial for no reason. They could just add them to
Yeah,
the nation that
yeah.
sold them to those nations in the first
Yeah,
place. That's not why this is happening.
That's probably what they would do. But say if War Thunder was like, we're gonna make an Israel tech tree and we're gonna do premiums of X captured vehicle from every other nation around it. That's just gonna be like Lamau. It's just a fucking captured vehicle tech tree.
No, I don't see it. Like, how does that merge to the game?
It
But
doesn't.
that's the thing. Like when I make recommendations about game changes and stuff for Gaijin, I try to go along with something that's within reason of what their scope is. Like there's just people that just ask for like random shit that just it's like whether it's too early or it's too late or it's a complete bogus a suggestion. Like this one guy suggested them giving R73s to the MiG-23 MLD. Every other content creator downvoted it, Because who wants to get sniped by a Fox 2 missile at 5 kilometers being used by IRST sensors? I do that shit in DCS flying an F-15 with more advanced systems. No one... That's like, why would you even ask for that? At this point in time, that's ridiculous.
Maybe
There's
when
just-
we're in something what's gone Mach 2, maybe.
Imagine, take the MiG-23, take the War Thunder RRB spotting system, and then get sniped by a missile with no contrail 5 kilometers in the face.
Well, also, it doesn't help that most air-realistic maps are way too fucking small for these types of jets and
Exactly.
weapons anyway.
Exactly. Not a lick of forethought. Not even, like... Is Gaijin considering the AIM-9L and things like the R-73? Probably. They're in the... Like, there's an AIM-9M in the files. Like, most likely, yes.
The only big map you ever see for jets is Spain. And half the time you barely play Spain because you get something like, what, Korea?
Yeah, Korea is still pretty common. Even though they redesigned it. But that's what I'm saying. There's not a lick of forethought. Could there be AIM-9Ls and R-73s in the game? Yeah, probably within the next, 10 months.
Well, I mean, they already have the R60M, so it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, and I know, so Zatara's, I didn't actually realize this because he's the big missile guy. Flare's sensitivity is now modeled on the dev server, the past dev server. Like, it's actually, like, R60Ms can be defeated pretty easily compared to things like AIM-9s and Magics. Of course, not entirely impossible, but they're getting there. They're getting to that point. But like we didn't even have that kind of mechanic, and it's still only new. Like, it's not even going to be refined. We won't even know. And then you got people suggesting R-73s and AIM-9Ls. Like, why? So when it comes to suggesting shit, and I say this for everyone, not just content creators, I say this for people that like to go on the forums, they like to suggest shit, you have to think about what within the realms and the scope of Gaijin's game can you suggest. If you just start throwing out random shit and you're trying to make War Thunder go from what it is now to straight up DCS, that's not happening. They're not going to listen to you. They're not going to care. They're going to make fun of you, or, you know, like someone, they're going to say some stupid snarky shit, and you're going to sit there and you're going to whine because you asked for something that's so out of the realm of possibility, it's ridiculous. So
Honestly, at this point, it's like, Gaijin, add all of the stuff the player base wants. So when the game breaks and can't handle it anymore, blame the fucking player base. What wanted it?
it's pretty much what they already do.
I mean, once we get to like Fox 3s, the game is just going to die 100%.
Unless we get another engine update.
No, it has nothing to do with. It has nothing to do. Well, maybe a little bit, but it's more
more
so
of a
how the game
game,
is just designed, how they set up their missions. Not even that if the engine can handle Fox 3s, because it already technically can.
Yeah,
It's more so
not
just the
a mechanic,
entertainment.
it's like, I don't think a lot of people are going to understand how Fox 3s work, and then they're just going to like get an RWR warning for like 2 seconds and die.
The only people who are going to understand it are actual pilots who use the damn things.
And
People
DCS
who play
players.
DCS, yeah, like me.
Like, literally, like, you can have some dude that really wants Fox 3 right now, go throw him in an F-15 in DCS on Growling Sidewinder server, and he'll be completely against Fox 3s in like 20 minutes. Because he won't understand it.
Like,
And the way War Thunder simplifies things and the problems we have with the spotting system and rendering, haha, go fuck yourself for Fox 3s. Ain't happening. That is a bad idea. Really, really bad idea.
honestly is.
And also, a historian just said, it's also the fact that like it's still a 12v12 and not a 4v4 or a 6v6.
Yeah.
12 people with the possibility of carrying up to 6 or more Fox 3s in a map the size of Malta or Korea, not happening.
I've
Not
said
happening.
it once and I'll say it again.
It just turns
Where
into
is-
dodge this.
Where is my RBEC? Like, seriously.
That
Facts.
is the only mode that would have any shred of balance with Fox 3s. because the maps are just necessary. They're just designed to support the full size.
Sim would have been perfect, but no one liked Sim, and people bitch so heavily against Sim, and Sim's
Well, the-
bad. I don't understand Sim. I don't like how long Sim goes on for. Sim's annoying and hard. I don't understand it. Sim's bad. Sim's so fucking terrible. Maybe if you were a good player and understood the fucking game, you would actually like Sim.
Or if Gaijin played Sim themselves.
Yeah, and they give
Yeah.
it like decent rewards, and you didn't lose $1 million every time you die.
I legitimately saw T-Rex, this one Sim YouTuber. He posted something about his experience with the recent changes they did, like 2 months ago now. And he was like, I am, not to brag, a pretty decent Sim player. It's basically the main game mode I play, and I'm barely going even with a premium aircraft.
Yeah, it's because they nerfed
Like-
Sim so heavily because people just spam in the American A2D.
And then
Is the A2D and the
HG,
2A?
yeah, but it's partly that, but it's just in general. It's just like, and then like Smin or Stone or someone, they'll whip out some dumbass response and they'll start giving you match formulas.
According to our statistics,
They'll give you some
There
stupid
is
ass
no problem.
formula that doesn't make any sense. Like with the what's the other thing they have a formula for now? With the calculations for spawn points, I think it is now. They're changing that as well. I don't even understand that.
Yeah, do they have the fucking Krabby Patty secret formula if they got so many of the damn fucking things?
I must.
guys are the type of people to follow their GPS if it tells them to go drive straight into the ocean.
Yeah.
That's a surprisingly accurate analogy.
E91 should be at 8.3, even though it is absolutely dominating ground RB because it has such a horrible win rate. We're just gonna, put it
No,
down.
it's not the win rate. It's the kill death ratio.
Well, that too, yeah.
Because maybe it is partly the win rate, but it's because they all spam Nords at one target and die, so the KD is 1-to-1 all the time. Every time.
Mm.
Like, just let that sink in. It's like, how many times do you see an A4 pilot shoot his bullpups into the ground and crash? Almost never. How many times do you see a G91 pilot do it? Every time you die to one.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
Like, holy shit. Oh my god. This game, it has so many, like, I don't care that they're adding Israel. I don't give a shit. Yeah, they're adding new content. But, they're, at this point, they're not going to go back and fix issues. They're just not going to do it. It's just like, you might as well just drop it and say fuck it and deal with the shitstorm and laugh and rant about it and have some fun. Because the only person that's making off with this is Gaijin. Because they're making money no matter what. It's the same thing with Wargaming. They're making money.
This is why I've kind of just totally migrated to like DCS, because as many issues as DCS has and as complex as it is infinitely better than anything War Thunder has done. Like, even just like, oh, I'm tired or whatever, and I just want to play like an arcadey game. I still like don't want to play War Thunder anymore because it's just the same thing. They haven't done anything to it to differentiate it through the years. It's the same game. DCS
Hell,
is...
if you've been playing it since the start, this is still the same fucking game from 14?
Yeah,
13?
basically. They
It's just
added
done a lot more shit on it, and they've still got some of the bugs from way back then still in the game.
I said that.
Yeah.
I said that during, I think, the dev server dev stream. I said that exact thing. I was like, I literally I've gone through multiple life milestones, and yet War Thunder still has some of the simplest bugs, which other game developers would churn out or fix in the first month of their game being out. You know what I mean? It's like, holy shit. What is even, what is going on there? There's some gaming companies or development companies where what's going on, then there's other ones that are like the KGB in a fucking gulag. They're locked up so tight.
Yeah.
And also, just to add to answer your question, CCP, it's not a subtree, it's its own tree. It's not like South Africa. That's why we're talking about it the way we are. It's because it's not a subtree.
The consensus right now, it's just going to be like a helicopter tree. It'll start at rank 3 or 4, I guess, and go up from there.
I wanted to piggyback off of what you said, Moose, about playing different games. I'm gonna segue here to the Vigan. It's a pretty good segue.
Yep.
This is a screenshot. I would have to go check the JA37 in game. If someone could do that and use Ansel, that would help. This is the cockpit from the third-person model of the AJ37
From the dev server.
from the dev server. Do you see a certain multifunction display on an aircraft that's supposed to be from like, I don't know, 1960 something? This plane has a model of a JA-37D for its cockpit in the external view. Let that sink in. It has the Maverick sight, like on the AJS-37 and the AJ-37, except it has the MFD of an aircraft 40 years old, or younger than it, upgraded, whatever the word is.
It's just a retrofit of an aircraft.
That's
I know. It's fucking
that.
stupid.
That's
it's
not
completely.
This isn't supposed to be in those plane. This isn't here. This isn't on the AJS, which is the 90s upgrade to the AJ Vigan. This isn't supposed to be here at all.
From your statistics and secret documents, it is.
It's a copy paste cockpit from the JA.
It must be. Is it?
I'm looking. I can't get a good picture of it to send to you, but because I don't obviously have it, so I can't like get a good view.
Are you in game right now looking at it though?
Yeah, I'm in game looking at it. Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
Yeah,
you can see the iPad in there.
So the JA-37 that we have in the live server also has it too. Does it have the missile? Does it have the missile or the Maverick sight?
Yeah, it's literally the same thing.
Why? Were they planning on making a J-37D and then went with the C, but then they said they were doing the early Vigan, so it wasn't actually a C or a D, it's the early one, but then they had the model of the D?
Probably.
For $25 on a sale, I can get an AJS Vigan with anti-ship missiles, with cluster bombs, with 4 fucking Mavericks for half the price of the premium Draken in this game, and I can have 10 times more fun. You can fly the Draken or the Vigan in DCS with mouse and keyboard if you have to. And it would still be a million times more fun than the Frankenstein that they're doing to these aircraft.
Well,
I mean, DCS,
they're definitely
there's a lot more planning that you have to do in DCS. There's a lot more homework that you have to do on each module to fly it properly. But once it's not that hard to understand, and you have like 10 times more fun. It's so much more rewarding.
You're not paying credits when you crash in DCS. You get a mission editor that's pretty, archaic, but you can do multitudes of things for $25 during what are pretty common sales, surprisingly.
Yeah, there's probably going to be a sale in the next couple of days here, I think, with their October or fall sale. I'd have to look it up, but yeah.
Well, you know what they've done with this cockpit is though. Still, they've probably outsourced it to their
whoever it is. It's part of the problem. It's part of
and they've probably gone like, okay, let's look at this aircraft, and they've gone to like Google Images and just came up with the first one. What's like a modern as fucking like design of the cockpit, and they're like, yeah, no, that will do. Slap it in on a plane what's like fucking 40 years older.
Bro, I don't know, but when I got this picture sent to me, I like flipped my lid. I literally said, why don't we just get the AJS-37? For anyone that's watching right now that likes to play Sweden or wants the Vigan or is currently grinding it, and you're grinding the J37, or hell, if you even have it right now, they're adding the AJ37, which has 2 Mavericks and like some flare pods. It has very limited ordnance. It's the earlier one. And from what I can understand, apparently only the AJS, the later retrofit, could actually carry 4 Mavericks. I don't remember which Maverick this is on the Vigan and the dev server, by the way, but there's the RB75T, which is the big one that was meant for boats and ships.
Yeah.
I don't remember if that's even the one that we have in game. That one should be nuking things from orbit. If it's supposed to carry the T's, I would have to do more research on the normal AJ Vigan. Okay. Think about it this way.
Oh.
You probably just ground out 400,000 RP for the fighter version of the Vigan. Next patch, to get the ground attacker that has 2 Mavericks, meanwhile the A7E has 6 walleyes. Keep this in mind. Most other nations have 4 Mavericks, or like with the walleyes, they'll have 6. Right? Okay. For 400,000 more RP, you're going to grind out what is essentially the same as the JA-37, but can carry 2 Mavericks. The way you play the JA-37 in ground, by the way, you just take the rockets and you keep a gun. The JA-37 is a better ground attacker than the AJ, right? Let's say the patch after, let's say in December, or maybe the patch after sometime next year. If they add in the AJS-37 for some variety, right? You're going to have to grind out 800,000 RP for 2 Vigans, essentially the same, just to get 2 extra Mavericks. What next year, by the time next year, what the hell is going to be in the game that's going to carry better ordnance? I understand that the Vigan is a light attack aircraft. I'm not complaining that it can't carry a fucking truckload like the F4 can. Why are they expecting anyone to grind out 800,000 RP for the same aircraft just to get 2 more missiles?
Because for the dedicated player base,
they literally are screwing over the Swedish tree for no reason. For some extra variety because Sweden has limited amount. Great. Just give them the best version of it. It's a ground attacker, for crying out loud. They don't have an A10. They don't have an A7. They don't have a Phantom. They have a Vigan.
what was the excuse they used for the IS-7 for the dedicated player base who actually gives a shit?
I don't fucking remember. That was another stupid shit show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's probably the same excuse they use in here for the
That was their
dedicated
excuse to-
player base.
That was their excuse to test build-a-thons. That's why they
Yeah.
had the IS-7, and it was a good vehicle to do with. I'll give them that. But seriously, I can't get over this. Ever since the dev server and I saw the ordnance, I can't get over this. 800,000 RP for the same plane. If you want to complain about copy-paste, fuck the Israeli tree. Look at the Vigan. It's instead of 7 copy and paste like in the Israeli tree that'll all have different upgrades and shit, you're getting the same plane for just slightly different ordnance loadout. If they add the AJS with cluster bombs, God forbid. Ground RB, by the way, Ground RB is dead if they add cluster bombs.
It really is.
I'm
Especially
sorry.
if they add like the CBU-97 or the 105.
The Mjolnir bombs, they also have like a kind of an INS system.
Yeah.
This game is so fucking over if they add those. And if that's what they're waiting for, I'm done.
The CBU-97 and 105 specifically, just because those are the shape charges with the smart warheads that will detonate.
The one that the 16 has in DCS?
Yeah, the one that the 16 and the A10 have in DCS, because they will detonate when they're over heat signature.
Yeah.
So you can detect like a tank from the ground, and it will detonate when it flies over the tank.
Remember that time period in War Thunder where you could just straight up spawn in an aircraft with all of its ordnance?
Ground
and you
RB?
could Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was still a thing, but they had cluster munitions like that. Everyone would be trying to leave their spawn, and you just have a suicide in Vigan or something.
We already have that. Remember when we did the event?
rush.
Remember when we did that? We tested out that one map I was going to maybe do an event on, and I had the Cassin, and I didn't have the spawn point system on, which by the way in the CDK you can't even calibrate, so it's stupid. And I didn't have it on, and I asked everyone to try and play a tank focused match, and all they did was just spawn in Cass. That is exactly what Ground RB would look like right now if we didn't have the spawn point system.
Yeah.
It would just be Air RB 2.0. Or like you could do it in the I forgot, you could do it in the World War mode event, remember?
Yeah.
Because the way they had
You
it
can just
organized,
instantly spawn and
fucking
yeah.
phantoms bombing T-62s into the dust. Like, oh my god, that was so
Yeah,
dumb.
now just imagine if that system was still in place and they added like cluster munition, like what would be the earliest plane you could put cluster munition on in War Thunder? We
The
have at
A4,
the
I
moment.
think.
And what
think
battle
it's
reign's that?
A4.
It's what's that?
8387. I don't know what the
Yeah,
A4
it'd
is.
be 8387.
So,
I think
so
it's
you're
87.
so you're at like 8-7
You could drop
in your
cluster bombs on
leopard.
a mouse.
Yeah, and you're all leaving your spawn. There's T-72s, leopards, CB, fucking the Italian thing, the Italian tanks, the Swedish and everything, and just some suicide in like plane comes towards you and just drops cluster munitions and gets like a 12-man kill,
That's-
knocking everyone out of the game in like the first minute.
Like, literally, I like War Thunder and the way they make vehicles. I like being able, personally, to make CDK, like, scenarios in CDK and stuff. But I am telling you, you do not want cluster bombs or Fox 3 missiles in this game with the current state of things. Gaijin would make the most half-assed AWACS, the most half-assed CCRP INS guidance system for cluster bombs.
Hell, I
It
would
would
prefer to
be
go back
so
on
bad.
how RP3s and HVARs used to work in ground RB. I'd prefer to go back to that system instead of what the fuck they plan
Like,
on doing.
literally, imagine a scenario where something with cluster bombs costs more spawn points than the A7 with walleyes.
Yep.
No, Tiger Battle, they didn't say they're adding cluster bombs. I'm saying, hypothetically, if they did, which it's possible that Gaijin could. If they wanted to, they could. Because
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I
they
can think of.
They have the airframes, or at least one or two airframes now that can carry cluster bombs. So, that's pretty cool.
Because that's what I'm thinking. If they're really doing it for variety, who gives a shit? It's just add the AJS. If they add the AJS with cluster bombs, fuck, it's game over.
Like, all you have to do is fly over to a capture point, drop a cluster bomb, and then, like, poof, everything's gone. Or heavily critted for your team to just come in and clean up.
Oh, so it is
How
only
bad
using
is
the
that?
RB75 A and B. So it's not using the T. So you get two Mavericks. They're not even the big ones.
No, they're the small ones. If they added the big ones, it would at least have a bigger blast radius. That's about it. I mean,
Oh my
the
God.
Bs and the A are fine. Like,
But you
they'll-
only have two of them,
Good
and
job.
it's going to cost you the same amount of spawn points as spawning an A7 with 4, or probably walleyes with 6.
like this is literally just, once they add the AJS, something you're gonna grind through. You're never gonna play it again.
Yeah, and you'll probably get enough spawn points to spawn in this, and then get hit immediately by a shulker
Yeah,
or a friggin' Tunguska.
I mean, at least it has RWR, so you know when you're being fired on.
No, you don't, because the Tunguska has IRST.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, the Tunguska has IRS.
You're gonna fucking die. You're not gonna know it, and you had two Mavericks. Like, what are you gonna do? Oh my God, I can't even. I don't want to think about it. It's so. Oh man.
I'm
It's
just
like I
waiting
would have.
for,
I would have been timid. I would have been somewhat fine with it if they weren't adding walleyes.
Well, the walleyes aren't
6
like.
of them. 6. I'm like the count. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, if everything still had at minimum or at maximum 4 of a guided munitions, okay. Right? Also, let's not forget, the Jaguar has a goddamn thermal targeting pod, and it can nuke you from space with a paveway.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to add targeting pods
Oh.
this soon.
Well,
I
if
thought
they
they would
finish-
add seed missiles. I thought they would add anti-rad missiles
I
before
thought-
we got targeting pods. But I
I
guess
thought they were
not.
going to. I thought they were going to give us a
I'll
strike.
just I'll answer Tiger Born's question in chat. How big is the cluster bomb radius? From a quick Google search, it says 8,000. So it's just ridiculous.
a
What the
potential
fuck?
spread of 8,000 meters.
Yeah,
That's
potential
not,
spread
that's
of
not
8.
truly realistic, but
It depends. It depends on how you set up the bomb, because in like the
I bet
A10C, You
So
can have it
about
detonate at a
65
certain
feet
altitude.
to 328 feet range.
Yeah, you can have them detonate at like a certain altitude, and you'll get either a tighter or a wider spread
Yeah,
of the bomblet.
8,000 meters is 8 kilometers. That's extreme, unless that's the launch range. If that's what you read.
That's probably the launch range, but it says up to 8. I don't even. Square feet. Blah blah blah. It's just a shitty quick search. It's probably a wrong number anyway. But the numbers.
It's only a
underneath are
couple of
probably
hundred
right.
feet at most, but a couple of
Yeah.
hundred feet is an entire
I
cap
mean,
circle or
yeah,
an
that's-
entire hotspot in
That's an entire
Advance
cap
to the Rhine or Berlin. That's like literally the entire camping spawn opening engagement of Berlin is 2 cluster bombs away from the entire team having to look at the respawn screen. Or being seriously fucked up that they'll just J out. Imagine stock grinding and you just got cluster bombed. And you didn't die, but you're damaged, your breach is out, your barrel's out, your tracks are out, and the whole team
You're on
around you just
fire.
got destroyed.
And you're on fire.
Yeah, people don't think it like it that way. I'm
But
telling
that's
you.
if they add that. That's very far off, and if they do, I'm
I
seriously
don't
gonna
know.
be done.
We
but-
got a fucking teapot and a laser guided bomb.
I mean,
We're not that far away, Prepcool. I'm telling you, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not that far away.
Yeah, I know, but we're going off track of Israel being a nation to let's fuck over everything by adding cluster munitions. Like, cluster munitions is cool, but I still hope that is a very long way away from War Thunder. The same with a few other modern-ish aircraft. But, you know.
The Jaguar A
Fucking
gets carried in Pod next
Gaijin
patch,
goes
the
through.
GR1 doesn't. The GR1 was so broken it wasn't ready. The GR1 I wouldn't speculate till another dev server. That wasn't. You couldn't even look at the bombs.
I mean, we're getting, what was it, GBUs and JDAMs now? Like, I did not think those were going to come until quite a while later.
Or it was like GG Bro just said, we haven't even gotten low drag bombs.
Yeah.
Shoot
Yeah.
bombs. Which the
Like-
Viggen has the bombs for that. It has those bombs now with the extended tip, but it doesn't. They're not drag.
Low drag would actually be kind of helpful if you have like a bombing point set up and then just fly low and extremely fast and then just drop them over the target. and
You know
hope
what's
you
going to
get
be
it.
really funny? At some point, it's going to cost a ridiculous amount of spawn points to spawn into any of these aircraft. So the question's going to come down to: do I go in the the fucking B-29 and drop the nuke, or do I spawn in my Viggen with 2 Mavericks?
Yeah,
But-
it won't be that far off, to be honest.
No, yeah, I'm saying cluster bombs are not far off. They're not. They're really
No,
not.
like-
It's a matter of Gaijin wanting to add them and experiment with them. I'm just saying this before I get onto that one last thing about Israel. We got off track with, but it's whatever. This is all good information, anyways. If Gaijin ever, no matter what, proposes cluster bombs, be so against it that your ass cheeks are turned inside out by how much you're clenching your ass in your chair, angry that they even thought of the idea of putting it in game.
Yeah.
For ground RB, cluster bombs are just as bad of an idea for the game's current design, and like we said earlier, the core gameplay hasn't changed like ever, so they're definitely not going to change it now, right? That's the ground RB version of Fox 3s. It's the same thing. The same thing with Fox 3s. If they propose Fox 3s, just be like, okay, fix the netcode, fix the rendering, everything before you add a missile that independently thinks on its own. And even then, Fox 1s currently kind of do that because of how clunky chaff can be. But I'm just saying.
And then if you think like one cluster bomb, right, would be bad. If you add something like the A-10, say, right? You can
That thing on its own would just be a fucking nightmare for like.
You
just
can
people
load
bitching about
a
it.
cluster bomb onto every single pylon on the aircraft, which there are 11 pylons. Well, maybe not.
We
Right,
did the
it would be
math
like
to this. It was
9.
like 300 and something bombs.
And then on top of that, some of them have triple racks. So imagine having that many cluster bombs on an A-10. You'd just be able to nuke like the whole map.
The A10 will get shot down by SAMs because it's too slow, depending on the game speed. The A10,
Well-
I could have another stream talking about the A10, but you know the way that Gaijin would simplify it, you could just fly over 1,000 feet above the battlefield on, say, Sinai over the mountain, have all of your points predetermined, and just drop cluster bombs everywhere, and the whole
Yeah.
map goes up and fries your computer.
It would be like a napalm rolling thunder, but even worse. I don't think anyone's computer could handle
I'm
the
serious. In
amount
the
of explosions going off.
F-16 and DCS, it's already super simple to just drop guided cluster, the smart cluster bombs literally everywhere. With DCS, with controls, with advanced systems, and having to set up points. In War Thunder, it's just going to be a couple of keybinds away from nuking the entire map.
And imagine if you get like 38th parallel or some shit like that.
Cluster bombs also, performance-wise, would fry everything. So, you know. But anyways, that's enough about cluster bombs and AMRAMs. But you guys got my point.
Yeah.
Please do not ever, 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 ever think that they're a good idea for the game. Ever. Fox ones, okay. ATGMs, guided bombs, and we're kind of there. Cluster bombs and AMRAMs and shit, no. Fuck no. Please. But anyways. So the last thing I want to get on before we read some comments, we have a little bit more engagement here. The premiums and their transfer. I don't think I said this earlier. I didn't get to it because we got off topic. We kind of did the math with just the premiums, the Israeli premiums alone. I don't know if I actually have the number on my phone, so I might. No, I don't. I'm gonna go through it again. So, for all of you that own the Shot Call and the Magox 3 or Magox 5, whichever one it is, like the Valtor, the Israeli Apache, stuff like that, none of these vehicles, as far as we know right now, I mean, you're not going to get compensated for it. Let's just be real here. You're not going to get compensated for it. This is different from like the SG or V81. That was one vehicle. This is like across multiple tech trees, hundreds of dollars of premiums. I'm not even counting the Merkavas yet, which we'll get to in a minute. Right, but I closed my game. But anyways, before the stream, I kind of went over it. We did the math. Say, give or take, I don't remember the exact prices, but I think that the Magox and stuff, I think it was, do I still have it up, actually? Yeah, I do. $49.99. So like a lot of these premiums, they're either $49.99 US or they're $59.99. So they're $50 or $60. So if you take the Valtor, let's say $50, plus the Magox and the Shot Call, which is another, let's give or take $50 each, you're already at $150 roughly, right? That's the Magox, the Shot Call, and the Valtor. If for whatever reason you're a masochist and you decided to buy the Israeli F-84, it cost 8,500 GE or something. 10,000 GE is what you have to buy in order to get that much gold. Let's just say to make it even without buying like the smaller little packs or whatever. That's another $50. You're already at $200 for 4 vehicles. Then we'll add in what?
Apache.
Yeah, so the Apache I think is $59.99, so that's $60. So we're already at like $260. And then I said for the events, right? I did it this way. The Merkava 2 was the one for tasks. It wasn't the Build-A-Thon Merkava, right? We're good on this? Has it clarified this? That was...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's say someone just wanted it and they bought gold to GE the tasks. Those are all 999 gold. There's 10 tasks. So that's...
Well, to be fair, but yeah.
That's what? Am I doing this math right? 10 tasks, they're all 1,000 gold. That's 10,000 gold. That's another $50. Give or take. $300.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. right?
But wait, there's more.
So that's the premiums, and then give or take if people decided to just straight up GE the Mark II's event vehicle, right? For the Mark 1 and the Mark 3, okay? This is all speculation, all hypothetical. Everyone's different. Whether people grinded out some modules or the tasks, or they bought some stuff on their marketplace, it doesn't matter, right? Give or take, people spent probably between whether it's $20 just for a couple extra things and they ground out the rest, or like up to $100, $200, $300 just to get the tank. That's legitimately, for some people, worst case
And
scenario.
that's only one vehicle. That's only one.
For the Mark III, it costs a little bit more. But let's say, give or take, hypothetically, some people across all of these Israeli premiums have spent upwards to $600, let's say. $500-$600. Okay? Like this true whales. The people that don't give a shit, right? $600 potentially of time and money. Because if it's money, you got to work too. It's in a way, it is time outside of the game. And they're just going to throw them all in another tech tree now, and they're not going to get compensated for it. And some of them, if they're in the tech tree, they don't even have a premium bonus. Right? Like, I know the price of the Merkava went down, the Mark III went down and shit today, and then also after the event stuff. But let's say, worst case scenario, $500 to $600. Best case scenario, a little over $300, right? If you own all the premiums. The only one I don't own out of those is the Merkava Mark 1 and the Magox 3 and the F-84. Those are the only ones, right? But I spent a little bit of money on the Merkava because I really wanted it. Because, whatever. I can do it. There's no compensation. At all. I already inquired with this, by the way. I said, from what I understand, it's working the same thing as the SGV-81, and there's not going to be any sort of transferring or compensation or what. And I got a response, and it was pretty much, yes, that's how it works. It's basically what happened with the SGV-81. There's just exactly the same. It got removed out of the British tech tree, and then I don't know if it's still for sale in the Swedish tech tree, but you can buy it there, and you can use it to grind the Sweden tree. I said there has to be at least some kind of discount if you already own, because this is multiple vehicles. This isn't one or two premiums. This is upwards to 5 or 6 vehicles that they're going to throw into a different tree, which is part of the reason why I think it's stupid that they're adding this tree now and not a year and a half, 2 years ago. Makes no sense at all, right? So if you own any of these vehicles, I would suggest to either go on the forums or something, or to spread the word through Discord and your friends and stuff, to try and inquire and to see if Gaijin would bend the knee on compensating people for these vehicles, right? Because they're just milking all the money in the world right now, right? Like let's just be honest here. That's what they're doing.
You're probably asking a bit much for the player base to be doing that. But
I understand that.
There has to be something. Like, if you own these vehicles, like, them being moved to the Israel tree, yeah, that's probably going to hurt the American lineup, because some of people actually do like to use these vehicles.
Yeah.
But if they were moved over to the Israeli tree, that could be acceptable, depending on what they do with them. If they put them in the tech, but that's like if they move them and put them into the tech tree as main tech tree vehicles, or if they move. Like say they move the Magox 1 and 3 over to the Israeli tech tree, they make those tech tree vehicles. If you own them, you own like a T fucking 5 battle raid fucking 8 point whatever main tech tree vehicle. Something like the M60, that's a Turkish tank, but anyway, they move that over. That they make that a proper premium instead of an event vehicle.
Yeah. Like, even if they don't make them premiums and they just put them in the entry, which I don't think they will. I think they're going to add different versions and then modifications, like the Russians with the T-80s and T-72s. I guarantee you they're going to add like a Merkava 3 and a Merkava 2, and then you have to research their upgrades, their modernization packages and shit, which is fine. But either way, whether they're premium or not, there has to be something, right? Even if it's just 50% of the SL cost is taken away and you still have to research the full vehicle, that's a good middle ground. I mean, I know I'm asking a bit much from people. I don't know, I mean, it's not like thousands of people are going to see this stream, right? But it's like at least just keep that in mind and like talk to your different circles and shit about it, or bring it up to different content creators that you watch if they start when they start to talk about these rallies and stuff. Because this is just ridiculous. This is literally thousands upon thousands of players have a couple $100 invested in these vehicles, and Gaijin's just putting them over into the other tree, and you're not getting any sort of discount to make the tree grindable, easier to grind. I know we're keeping the vehicles. Like, I saw someone mention that earlier. I know we're keeping the vehicles. I understand that. So in a way, Gaijin's thinking, well, you're keeping them in the other tree, and they're going to be combined with American vehicles, so everything's all good. It's like, yeah, okay, but still, if you're just straight up copying them over, there has to be some kind of credit discount, because they've done it in the past. They did it with older anniversaries and shit like that.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
every year with the game's anniversary and shit, where everything's 50% off. They could just do that. Just, I don't know, match up the item IDs or something. It's not super out of the realm of Gaijin. I know that they could do it. They could do something like it. I don't think it's too much to ask of them. It's still within the realm of possibility. I don't think they'll do it, knowing Gaijin, but just anyways, just maybe even keep it in conversation. But yeah, ultimately, that's a ridiculous amount of money that they're basically just cocking thousands of players out of, and hours of their life. They made you grind a stupid ass build-a-thon event for. I don't do the build-a-thons. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Israel right now that I can think of. So, let's see. We could go in a couple more vehicles, I guess, but like it's mainly going to be the ground tree. The only thing I'm looking forward to for a ground tree would be the Magox. Literally, this could be like 9.3, 9.7, maybe. Because the other IR carrying vehicles, like the Ocelot and the Type 93, they don't have another armament. They just have the missiles, but the Magox could probably be like a 9.3 or 9.7. So I want this. I know Arrow wants it too. I don't even know if he's still in Discord, actually.
No, he's not.
No, he's here. He must have had to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the one vehicle I'm looking forward to the most. Would be this thing at 9.3 to maybe keep the G91s and stuff at bay.
Look, more vehicles would have Stinger missiles.
Yeah. Well, the Ocelot's its upgraded Stinger isn't actually half bad, especially the
Yeah,
battle
but
rating
we're
will be,
getting the Weasel. What gets Stingers if the Israelis get this thing? There's a few. This what else has Stingers in War Thunder? It's like a whole bunch of other vehicles getting Stingers, and it's just like a few vehicles what actually can apply Stingers, but they don't get their modification.
LAVAD win. Yeah, I would have wanted that. That thing was due a long time ago. Probably like a 9.7 AA 10.0, because it does have a. Well, actually, I don't know what was the in-service gun. Was it the 20, the 25, or the 30? I shouldn't say in-service, but the proposed one, because I don't know if it even was in service. Probably the 25.
I don't know. Remember, there's a lot of stuff what should have just been in the game a long time ago. Like, hell, didn't Koala do a video of like premiums what were gonna come to the game and just like cancelled from like the CDK or some shit? Just
I think he did a video on things he wanted to see in game that would have made the most sense, like 3 times.
No, I'm pretty sure he went over cancelled vehicles because there was stuff there like premium 109 for Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Wasn't
and
that Tech?
the P. Yeah, oh sorry, Tech. Yeah.
Yeah, he went
While
over
attack,
all
I
of
get
those
fucking
things.
confused. Yeah, I get fucking confused with all those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, all those things that they scrapped, those would have been a lot of copy and paste. That's like Control C, Control V, copy and
Yeah.
pasting itself. That's copy pasting, copy paste.
Yeah, but this stuff. But like from that, for an example though, like those were premiums, but they were cancelled, and a lot of them seemed cool. And there's even stuff in War Thunder what just seemed like the most mediocre plane to just have. But they're still not in the game. For an example, we still don't have the B-26s or the G4M or fuck, we still don't have some of the most really iconic like planes of World War Two. We've got some of them, but we don't have the B-26 Liberator, Japan's G4M, G3M, sorry, G3. What else am I thinking of? Still, fuck, you were agreeing with me on one of the
Yeah. So
with
you were talking about the B-26 Marauder, the G3M Nell,
and you came up with there was the last one and you really wanted it. I can't think of what it was.
was it American or Italian?
I think it was Italian because you were going on about it. It might have been American.
I don't remember anymore. Might have been
I
actually.
believe it was probably going to be like a low tier. It was probably a bomber or some shit we were going over again.
Yeah.
But it's still like one of those like iconic planes, but are just still not in the game.
Yeah. S3 Viking.
The hell is an S3 Viking?
I have no idea. Oh, another.
It's a VTOL bird. Oh no, it's not. Oh yeah, it is.
The Mi-28 NM, I am not excited. That thing's gonna have chrysanthemum missiles guided by radar. Fuck's sake. That's just gonna be a shit show.
Yep.
Also, did you know still there was an F-104 with VTOL what Germany made?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, have a look at the image of it.
Oh wait, maybe I have heard of it. I think maybe I saw a picture.
VTOL and F-104.
I wish Gobnik was here. It would have been a meme, but fortunately he's working.
Yeah.
Let's see. Well, I don't have anything else. I could pop into War Game real quick to look at a couple more vehicles. I can't think of off the top of my head. What is there? Actually, there's really nothing in War Game I can think of. Yeah. But yeah, unfortunately, this is where we're at with War Thunder. This is life now, boys. This is where it's at. Wow, this tree is so late. This isn't. I'm excited either way. I'd play it either way, but $300 or so down the drain for a lot of people because they bought them to play them. You know. I don't know. I'm trying to let that one sink in. That's ridiculous.
It's like any game though. Like nearly any game you'll spend a lot of money on and they'll do something.
Oh yeah. It's just like what game am I thinking of?
Heroes and Generals?
No. Something I've played. I just know that there's been situations where players have been compensated for things. Yeah, Historian, I understand we won't lose the vehicles, but a lot of people bought those vehicles to play them because they wanted those vehicles. The Israeli Apache, by the way, forgot to mention this earlier, they added the YAH-64 anyways as a squadron vehicle, probably to fill some stupid quota. The YAH-64 should have been the premium, and they never should have introduced the Israeli Apache anyways. Like, I bought the Israeli Apache specifically so I had a premium helicopter for America and not use the AH-1G. Like, that specific case, that is just straight up just buying it to have it. But, like, the Merkavas, I wanted the Merkavas. By the time they added the Merkava Mark III, I was just like, okay, they'll never add an Israeli tree at this point. They've added 3 out of the 4 Merkavas. You know,
And then they added like 2 more tanks on that, bringing it up to like a total of 5 Israel vehicles. Then there was the helicopter, so that was a total of 6 vehicles what came up. So who was like, yeah, no, they're not going to add an Israel tech tree. Look, they've added 6 Israel vehicles into the American and other nations' tech trees. You know, they've taken everything from an Israel tech tree and put it into the US tech tree.
hell is the Sherman's compartment? What the hell is that? Huh. Jesus. Just woken up from 4 hours of sleep somehow. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you, bud. Trust me. I woke up too early this morning. I've been dying to do this stream. I had like, I think honestly probably a better formulated plan earlier today, but I just didn't want to stream while I had shit to do. So, unfortunately, yeah. This is where we're at. I'm going to go play the Vigan at DCS because, well, at least in that game, I get to use all of my ordnance properly and not have to play stupid fucking games with what's what. So, yeah. I don't think I really have much else to say about the topic for right now. We will have to wait for probably December to roll around, late November or December, to see what is going to be in store for the Israeli air tree. That's my prediction, at least. I don't know what you guys think.
Honestly, I don't like. I see the problem with what they've done here, but honestly, I don't really give two shits. I start like most casual War Thunder players who don't even own these vehicles won't give two shits. They'll be like, "Oh, cool, a new nation." But for the dedicated player base, what has been around for a few years and, as you've said, spent money and time, yeah, they're getting fucked over. But for the PlayStation guys and the Xbox guys who have come over, they're not gonna give two shits. They're gonna be like, "Oh, cool, an Israel tank. I'm gonna grind that."
Yeah, pretty much.
Like it's a big deal for if you're an old player, you're getting fucked over. But if you're a recently new player or you've just stopped giving a shit about collector vehicles and you just play the game just to play the game, and you play the game maybe a few hours and not like 8 hours a day or some shit, like it's not a like who gives a shit? Yeah, cool. Israel's finally here, but I don't know. It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, did we really need it? This is another nation. What are we up to? We're up to like 9 nations in War Thunder.
Yeah, I think.
We're up to 9 nations in War Thunder. This is making 10. They're gonna have pretty much like they're gonna have a few tanks. They're gonna have a few aircraft. They're gonna be put into the matchmaker, but it's probably gonna be the same result you get with Japan, right? When you play Grand RB and you get the one Japanese guy on your team, that's probably what it's gonna be like. It's just gonna be Germany and because since they changed the matchmaker, so it's no longer just everyone versus Germany. It's gonna be Russia, Germany, Britain versus America, France, and freaking Sweden, or they'll do Germany, Italy, and Japan versus fucking everyone, and now there's going to be a 10th nation, what's just Israel, and yeah, they're probably going to be popular for a bit. You'll see them for a long bit, but like after the first like 3 weeks of them coming out, you're never going to see any of these vehicles again. They're just going to disappear into mediocre top tier, and it's just going to go back to stagnation War Thunder where I'm in a Leopard, he's in a T-72. Oh look, I got killed by a fucking helicopter, or I got bombed, or there was a fucking there was a bloody Roikyak or something what shot me in the side, and you're gonna still be playing on the same shitty maps from fucking beta, tank beta. So
For the air tree, that's like probably gonna highly be the case until they bring in the ground tree, and then it's going to be more like a Britain rather than a Japan, I'd say, where there's going to be like at most maybe 4 or 5.
No,
Depending on how they make them queue, which is just throwing. They literally, you ask them to try and like fix shit for the matchmaker, or maybe have propose this idea for the matchmaker. They're like, no, we can't do that. That'll take too much time, and then they're gonna add in another nation. So then they need to reconfigure the matchmaker all over again, and it's gonna take them another year. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like they're just playing fucking games at this point.
Like,
So,
I don't mind if they want to add new nations, but if they're still going with, like, if they're not willing to change the matchmaker, except for top tier, then they at least add another Axis nation for low tier, because most people don't enjoy playing top tier tanks. Yeah, top tier tanks are fun, but, you know, the average casual War Thunder player is not gonna fucking suggest himself to 20 to 30 games of fucking being shot and railed by bloody dart rounds. Like, they're gonna go back, they're gonna be like, I enjoyed playing my Sherman, I enjoyed playing the Persian, I like fighting King Tigers, it's all simple down here. Fire round, kill tank, move on. At top tier, you gotta be like, I gotta watch out for X vehicle what fires a dart round, X vehicle what fires a fucking rocket, X vehicle what fires a fucking, you know, shell, and then you gotta watch the sky because, oh look, there goes a fucking mirage, oh, he's fired a bullpup, I'm dead. Or, hey, you hear that friggin' Fortunate Sun plane as a KA-50 flies over the battlefield and nukes like 6 people?
oh shit! Wait, do you guys hear that? Is that Ride of the Valkyries?
Exactly. Like, 8.0 is probably the most fun people get out of, like, modern tank RP, is playing, like, anywhere from, like, 8.0 up, like, to maybe 9.0. Other than, like, 10.0, I don't think people enjoy 10.0 too much. And if they're not willing to change
I really
the max...
used to enjoy top tier. I really used to. It's just
Yeah,
gotten
and,
so
like,
fucked.
I'm all with them adding new nations. Israel, I feel like it's a bit late, but that's like with every Gaijin update, is everything is just a little bit too late to the party. Like, it's gonna be cool for top tier, you're gonna be like, you know, Germany, like a whole bunch of axes, like the whole roster of nations versus the whole roster of nations. So you're gonna have 2A5s versus 2A5s and T80s fighting T80s, and it's just like clusterfuck. But if you play like low tier, then it's gonna be what, Germany and Italy and Japan. Not even Japan, they're fucking traitors. They swapped over to the Allies side, so you're gonna see super for low tier. Germany's just fucked if they keep the just Axis versus the Allies. But hell, Israel didn't even become a thing until 48, so that's gonna be a fun time for mid tier tank RB.
Yeah. Will the Israelis cost more GE though?
Probably.
For premiums? No, it'd be the same. Also, side note for Wargame, with the South Africa update, they balanced some shit. The Israeli tree is completely shot. By the way, I don't know if you can see the black flickering lighting in the background. This is so distracting and annoying sometimes. If you guys can see that on stream, this will drive you nuts. That's what I've been dealing with.
That's it.
It's so fucking aggravating. With
You got a hole in your graphics card.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. You've got a hole in your graphics card.
So with the balance of this game, they changed the price and the availability of the Kurnos, so you can't have 2 of them for like elite. You can only have 1 now, or you can have 2 rookie. And while the Hobos missiles do get twice the HE power of the Mark 82s on the ROM, they cost the same. They also cost the same as the Lavi, which is a normal carpet bomber, but you get 4 paveways on a F-15 with faster speed than the Kurnos, better ECM, better air detection, better time on target, literally everything better for the same price. Like,
Yeah, this guy in your chat steals like Israel will make more money. I hope that's the gimmick of Israel if they get added.
Shalom, comrade. Would you like?
Yeah, I
step
hope
into
that's
my-
the gimmick for when they get added, because then they'll be like, oh, there's another economy change coming in.
All right.
We see from our statistics that Israel is making too much money, so we're gonna change the economy of War Thunder yet again and make it more grindier and fucking harder to earn money.
I want to play a match of war game just cause since we're talking about Israel. Let's see. Let's do a South African motorized deck coupled with an Israeli armored deck versus a Yugoslavian mech and a let's do
I don't know.
let's do a GDR mech deck too.
I prefer when this game was simple. It was Axis versus Allies, and it was simple and it was easy, and you knew you knew what you were fighting against. Now it's like fucking helicopters, missiles, and nations what didn't really need to be added.
They should have just separated the modern vehicles into a separate game and just made it totally different.
Well, they did that when tanks first came out, if you remember, because when tanks first came out, it wasn't it was weird, but 7.0 was the highest battle rate, and 6.7s could still be dragged up, but everything you will find that like 7.0 back when tanks came out is you will find the T10M what was like the heavy, or no, it wasn't modern, but it was in the time span of War Thunder. It was like the modern heavy tank for Russia in that time span, and Germany had the Mouse, and Britain got the Centurions and stuff like that, and that was War Thunder for a bit, and that was actually really well done because 5.7s couldn't go up, or 5.7s could go up, but they weren't seeing bullshit shit they are today, or you're not playing a 6.7 and being dragged up to a fucking 7.3 game or a 7.7 game, and you're like, yes, my World War II tank fighting a T-55.
I didn't mind War Thunder top tier last year.
Last year it was alright.
Yeah, it was okay.
It's still alright.
When they changed the coalition setups and then decided to slap us on Finland, Kuban, Karelia, Ash River, every freaking match.
I liked Ash River. Ash River was actually a nice map. Just everyone fucking hated it.
The entire lower half of the map is completely pointless the second one team takes the top.
But Ash River was it was a good map for mid tier. For top tier, it was.
No, I'm just speaking in top tier. I'm only speaking in top tier. Mid tier, everything was fine, but I'm just saying, I'm speaking for top tier wise. I didn't mind playing it until all of a sudden it was us just getting shoved onto the same maps all the time. Cause like Finland was different with an M60 versus it is with a fucking Abrams. Like Finland, I could tolerate Finland back when we used to play on it in M60s and Leopards and T10s and shit, but the game's just gotten like your caps are being capped by medium tanks, in air quotes, medium tanks, MBTs, before light tanks can, because the whole dynamic of warfare changes. But you have the same maps designed for World War II and like early Cold War. You know what I mean?
I blame the map banning system for that, because if it wasn't for that system, we would be getting all of the maps in rotation.
Like if it wasn't a bad banning system, what other game has you banned like a single thing?
Battlefield.
A single map? In Battlefield, you have an entire server filter, basically.
Well, Battlefield for the console.
They have a better voting system even on console.
Yeah, but it was a voting system, and like Call of Duty, Black Ops had a ban system as well. The first Black Ops.
Yeah.
You could ban certain maps you didn't like, but that was like in the end of its life cycle.
Yeah.
What was like sadly 2016, like 6 years after the game came out. Also, hi Soviet.
Soviet is here now.
You've also lost like 15 people watching your stream.
Yeah, I know.
The life of
Low said in chat, bad videos, bad video, bad CC. Yeah, okay. Whatever. It's not even a video, it's a live stream. Like, what? Okay.
Daddy's even here anymore.
Yeah, probably not. People just want to come see me talk about Israel and then call me a Jewish sympathizer. Just keep politics out of fucking War Thunder for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Which is seriously aggravating. Also, isn't it a great idea that they decided to put dozers and being able to draw swastikas in the same patch as putting in the Israelis? I see no issue with this at all whatsoever.
Is that
Not
even
at all.
coming? Is that even coming this patch?
Yeah. What, you mean
Oh,
the building?
get it.
The Israeli aircraft. I mean, not really like at the same. You get my point, is what I'm trying to say. They're adding Israel, and then also people are drawing swastikas with fucking dozer blades.
I know, but it all makes sense why the dev update called it groundbreaking.
Oh my god. Groundbreaking levels of racism.
By the
Up
way,
to Army 3. No, this is Wargame Red Dragon. This is an RTS game. I'm playing Israel in it. So why not?
this is an old game, so this is early access to the Israeli tech.
Oh, fuck, my F-15 just got nuked. Well, I don't have guided bomb anymore. Fun. Fun. This is the other thing I hate about War Game is the Israelis didn't have any shock infantry in their Merkavas. They only had their basic infantry, which kind of made them being 100 points completely pointless. Wait, what?
You get a
Oh,
Merkava
shit.
tank.
It only gets 9 rounds. It just gets a grenade launcher, basically. Oh, I completely trashed both of my aircraft without even realizing it. Man, I'm rusty at this game.
Get good, bro.
Exactly. Let's just slap the Merkava.
What
on that
about you,
street.
Scobie? You got any points of view on what's coming? War Thunder?
MI-28 and M.
Yeah.
We even know that's even coming.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those
what they said is gonna
screenshots.
replace it. They just haven't. They haven't put it in.
It's replacing the Havoc.
No, sorry, not replacing.
Oh,
It just
say.
it's taking its like top tier spot basically
I see.
because they gave the ATGM HE version of the Atakas to the end we have right now.
Come on, get over there. Holy shit, I don't have a cluster bomber. Alright, Magox, let's go.
Alright,
So I
well, I
think
gotta head out, so
that-
we'll talk to you all later.
See you, Moose.
Why?
Thanks for joining.
Yep, no problem.
I think the Bachbat would be cool to add though.
Yeah, like, there's definitely gonna be some cool vehicles they'll add, but, you know, Steele's got his opinion, I've got my opinion. My opinion is I don't really give two shits. It's gonna be cool. Most people are gonna go with their own opinion.
Yeah.
The veteran players will get screwed over. Should be used to it now. We play free-to-play games made by Russian companies.
Yeah. Enlisted moment. I'm sorry, that game is just such a meme. It's like, it can be fun, but it provides nothing interesting.
It provides infantry, what people wanted for so long, and people like, we want infantry, and you know what infantry added into War Thunder is? An age restriction add-in, because the game is currently PG-13.
Yeah. It's
So
more
if you
legal
were to
mumbo
add-
jumbo for Gaijin than that, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, but if you were to add infantry and you mowing down infantry with machine guns, then you have to kind of increase the age restriction.
Oh, they really. I mean, AI
That's why
spam
this-
is AI spam, but they really cut this.
But that's why there's no, like, people manning the AA guns and shit in, like, warships.
Yeah, no swordfish pilots.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because, he's just sleeping as the plane burns.
I mean, do you not sleep when your plane burns? I do.
Yeah. I sleep in a burning flaming wreck as it goes towards the ground.
That 7 proletariat are gonna murder my Rovait. This is fun. Rovait. I don't know how the hell to say it. I got my ass kicked. Like, real bad. AI spam is real. Oh yeah.
Plus, they'll probably add in some like weird ass squadron vehicles for Israel just for the shits and gigs of it.
Right.
That's probably where they're gonna move the fucking AH-64, the Israeli version too.
Hell, they'll
Probably what they're
probably
gonna
take
do.
some like weird BM, like the IFV, like Russian stuff, and they'll be like, Israel captured one of these. We'll make it a squadron vehicle in the Israeli tech tree.
They're more likely to do that with their T-55, in my opinion, because they have some T-62, T-55 premiums they could have.
Like,
That would just be dumb.
this news was dropped on us like, when did that dev blog come out? Like what, 3 hours ago?
Yeah.
For me,
6.
7. So 6,
6 or
7
7.
for me. It came out 7 years ago, and this was
Hours
probably
ago.
yeah. This was
Years?
yeah. Sorry,
You gotta get it
7.
right proper, otherwise people on stream will be really confused.
I'm a time traveler. Don't worry about it.
I'm a time traveler, bitch. Don't worry about it. It's all confidential.
Yeah, no spoilers. But no, normally there's a trailer or something like this. Like, this is just a dev blog on, hey guys, like, is it just me or is this just a really badly dev blog? Because they're
Poorly
like,
timed dev
you
blog.
like,
You mean?
yeah, because look, if you look at it, it's like new locations, blah blah, and Israel as its own nation. It's like, what?
They call it the Gamer Nation. I was so, there had to have been a translation error, because then I saw Stona later said something that was completely broken in translation as well. It's like, what is he saying?
Israel, the new gamer nation, coming to War Thunder.
Hey, gamer. Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what they
it's-
said.
Look at the dev plug for it, Soviet. It says gamer.
That's a lie. There's no way.
If they edited it, I swear
Yeah,
to God.
look. Wait, you're on your phone, aren't you? Look in the dev blog.
No, I'm not on my phone. I'm on PC. Okay, let's see.
Well,
They buffed the Magox. They nerfed its price, but then they decided to not improve its armor or anything. Really? One Merkava can handle it
Oh,
better.
there it is. Israel, a new gaming nation to that's bad.
my fellow gamers.
Oh my god.
Attention, all gamers. Israel is now in War Thunder.
Israel needs your help. Israel.
Give us
What
your
is that?
credit card number and the 3 numbers on the back in order to help the Israelis earn their spot in War Thunder's top nations.
Oh, so the
Else.
pre-order planes are a Spitfire LF and a A4E.
Yeah.
Well, an A4E with premium with fucking Mavericks definitely would be broken. Oh.
Not at all.
Or sorry, Walleyes.
Yeah. I feel like you should also be able to carry Mavericks too. I'm kind of...
Palestinian
on that.
tech tree when.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Israeli tech tree won't start at rank 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're starting off at, I'm guessing, rank 3, but they'll
It's
probably
the
do
same
rank
situation with the AGGMs. No, we won't do this a month later. Actually, before you guys get mad, we're gonna do this.
We thought about it, and from our statistics, it said it was really good.
When they say when they're like, according to our statistics, our bank account, we're not making enough money, so here's the Israelis.
Dude, what are the odds their statistic is just some guy in like a closet at Gaijin HQ with a fucking Ouija board?
I believe it.
Come on, fire that artillery again. Come on. There it is.
I don't know. I think that, like it's Israel being their own nation. Yeah, cool. I feel like it's really bad on how they've delivered this information to the player base, though.
Oh, that was a
Like-
miss. Oh no, there's multiple artillery.
There's normally a trailer or something. You know, there's normally something before there's a bundle pack purchasable. You know, there's normally something. Like Sweden had a fucking trailer for them, didn't they? So did China.
I mean, didn't the trailer literally take place, or this update trailer literally take place near Israel?
Wait, this update had a fucking trailer.
Yeah.
I didn't see this one. I didn't see this. Well,
Just a
Didn't see this.
commentary. No one need to like sim, and no one is a bad player because of it. War Thunder is an arcade game, not a simulator. If you like simulator, just go to DCS and shut up, dude. Respect to War Thunder players. Not all War Thunder players respect each other. Like, have you seen the racism that happened today? Like, have you seen the Reddit? Which I know it's Reddit, but like, goddamn. Not asking, like, I keep having to reiterate, I don't like that people, like, just instantly do this to, like, try and shut down an argument. No one is asking for War Thunder to be DCS levels of accurate. It's just that the money you spend in a simulator is usually way more worth it than it is in War Thunder. Because for the same price of a single premium that you have to spend hours grinding other shit to play with, you can get one thing in DCS and spend the same amount of hours, if not more, enjoying a nice high-quality product. No one wants War Thunder to be a sim. You just need it to not be stupid, so the money is worthwhile being spent by people supporting the game. It's like, it's really simple. It's not complicated. Like, I'm not asking for the Vigan to be super accurate. When I'm bringing up DCS, I'm bringing up the fact that it is literally so similar that not adding in the HAS-37 is scuffing the Swedish tree for just simply, in the end, no reason.
Yeah, like this guy's just said underneath that. Imagine Israel on the same team as Germany, especially in like what 5-7 matchmaking, 4-3 if they even get that low. Yeah,
it's kind of fucked up.
I'm gonna really enjoy playing my Israel tank next to the fucking SS decaled Panzer IV on my left.
Oh, cool. The Third Reich's SS Panzer Division I'm working with. Oh, cool.
They will get a Panzer.
Yeah, you're gonna have Super Sherman with like the Israeli fucking flag decal slapped onto the side of it, and then you've got fucking bloody Michael Whitman wannabe in his Tiger tank fucking slapped with the SS you can do in War Thunder on the side of his Tiger, and be like, yes, the SS division.
That's a Tunguska. Fuck off. Nope. Not dealing with that.
What?
Like it's probably not gonna be a big problem, but they're probably gonna get like the same like problem in War Thunder they had with like China a while back, with the Israels being like offended with something at some point. That's probably gonna happen.
Wow, those cheetahs came in and they did literally nothing because their accuracy is completely borked for some reason. Cool. That's always fun. Proletary literally costs less than the Robite and their shock. Very cool.
Like hell,
On AI, listen to me.
well, we all know from history that Israel got their fucking revenge on everything. So let's not bring. Hey man, they literally kidnapped the fucking orchestrator of their demise and kidnapped his ass back to their homeland.
I mean,
What
they
are you
actually
talking
did.
about?
The man that came up with the final plan.
Yeah, the final plan. You know, they
Yeah.
kidnapped his
Okay,
ass
I
from
get it
friggin'
now.
Argentina. Yeah. So you know, history shows that they know how to deal with their shit and how to deal with a lot of situations.
How did
But
they-
you know, how's it gonna feel if, say, you're a Jewish well, if
Bro,
you're
you sound like you're talking about a Hoi 4 game than you are history.
I know. Yeah, but say it's just gonna be like retarded, right? You're gonna be like, oh yes, I'm in my Israeli tank, and here comes fucking Michael Whitman and his Tiger tank on my same team.
Yeah. Well, they will get a Panzer and a Stug, I think.
Yeah, like they use German equipment, but it's like, you know, who cares? German equipment after World War II isn't anything too special.
How is this? A BMP? Ay.
It's like anything. Like it's just gonna like War Thunder's gonna turn into a racist thing at like in the future.
It's gonna end up being as toxic as Watt.
Well, remember when China was being added and like people would like spamming the fucking flags everywhere to piss
That
everyone
was
off?
yeah, and also like, I mean, the that's like a current issue. Like China and Taiwan, that's like an actual geopolitical like tension. Israel just exists now. Like, I know the whole thing with Palestine, I understand, but it's like Israel isn't trying to cause World War III right now. Like, I just I'm sorry, I have to say that. They're not caught, like, people are just making fun of Israel. People are just making fun of the Jews because it's just what people do. Because people are assholes, right? Like, it's in a way, it's like a completely different situation. So like people just being super racist towards the Jews is stupid. It's just a complete war thunder meme, and like with the Israelis, people will get over it, but like at some point the toxicity is just gonna get so bad. Because it's like super national. Like some dude commented on my community post that he couldn't wait to start team killing or having fun team killing. I'm like, have fun getting banned, because you're just gonna get banned. They do ban you for team killing if you repeatedly within a certain amount of time are team killing people. You will get banned. You literally get banned. It's not like a temp ban. It's not like you just got booted from the match. Your account is gone because you're being an asshole.
But it's for the greater good. Bad.
Soviet with a spicy hot take.
It's bad. No, I think it's fucking wild. People are fucking crazy. Shit.
Yeah.
People legit need to like.
That's why I kind of stopped playing War Thunder, because like just the player base is already toxic as fuck. And just anything Gaijin adds, the player base is upset about. Like,
everyone's being a fucking snowflake. Everyone thinks that their nation deserves to exist in the game. It's not your decision at the end of the day whether or not Gaijin adds Israel. You can only suggest things. You know what I mean? You can only suggest and inquire. I don't want to say bitch, but that's kind of what some people do, and that's kind of counterproductive. But that's all you can really do at the end of the day. So I think it's fucking annoying that like, oh, where's the Yugoslavia tree? Actually, real quick, because this match is getting boring. Real talk. I'm gonna go to Yugoslavia right now. What would be in a Yugoslavian tech tree?
Yugoslavian tech tree. It would. The problem is they would get like really early war stuff. The problem is like midway through World War II, they literally have nothing.
This is like a ZTZ 99. It's just Yugoslavia's T-72. You're gonna get a T-55. You're gonna get a T-72, and then modern, like their own domestically kind of produced one.
Oh, you're talking about modern.
I'm talking about like just in general, because like that's what people want. They want the modern stuff. World War II Yugoslavia is just gonna be what? Soviet stuff?
Pretty much. That's all you get.
Ts.
I will admit, like a T-55, an upgraded one, would be cool.
This is gonna be a BMP with a different turret and a couple of Malyutkas. Or something goofy like this. They're basically, at the end of the day, the same as a lot of other vehicles you're already getting in the Soviet tree. Maybe this thing for the meme. Rockets. Or like a 20 mil. Or an ATGM carrier.
Just have one of them come with a babushka side of it.
Like, literally, I'm sorry. I know I just went on a whole nearly 2 hours about Israel. But Yugoslavia, who are they going to queue? Think about it this way. Who are they going to queue with? What premiums are they going to have?
They would just
what are their battle ratings going to be? What are they going to be paired with?
Shit.
There's a lot to consider when it comes to adding a tech tree. They were taken over by Italy and Hungary in World War II, so yeah. You could just throw a Yugoslavian vehicle in Italy? Boom, there you're done. Like, I'm sorry. It's like not every
we have 2 Romanian premiums in the German tech tree.
like here with the you know the Swedish Sam. You guys know the Swedish Sam. It's here.
Which one?
It's literally it's Finland's. It's Finland Sam. That was no. It's not Swedish. It's Finnish. Here's your Finnish tech tree. You have this vehicle already.
Yeah, we do.
This is a marksman turret on a T-55.
But I can't use it though. It costs 18K to repair.
T-55. The most unique thing would be a goofy-looking T-72 T-80 hybrid because it's got the funny-looking Contact 5 of the T-80. You know, or you go here and you get a BMP-2, or you get something like this where it's a wheeled vehicle with an LAV-25 turret on it, or a Sturmy, the godsend, the Abrams killer itself, the Stug with wooden logs on the side. So,
don't underestimate a Stug.
A Stug will fuck your shit up.
Yeah. I kind of wish, like, I don't know, there's so many, like, from like, you can just look at War Thunder and just be like, they could have won in this point of view, or they could have won in that point of view, or, like, this nation and that nation. It's just, it's a World War II game where the main point was everyone versus fucking Germany and Italy. That was World War II. Germany was the big bad guy. Italy came along for the joyride.
Japan decided to fuck it all up by attacking the U.S.
Exactly. Japan was the retarded fucking cousin who who wasn't invited to the party, but like fucking dropped to the beer keg.
Ruby, that's just a war game meme, by the way, because you can kill an Abrams with a Stug in this game. You just spam a bunch of Stugs. That's just a joke. Don't worry about it.
Hey, Germany. Guess what? What? I attacked the U.S.
You what?
Fucking.
Anyways,
And that's like the problem. Nah, you go.
yeah, that's just before we ran on any longer. Really, that's pretty much it, guys. It's been 2 hours. We got nothing else to talk about for now. We don't have enough information. Unfortunately, that's pretty much it from us. But before we make more Hoi memes and shit like that. That was Japan, World War II. We attacked U.S. But yeah, so for those of you that stuck around, thanks for sticking around and watching and listening to us rant.
Probably blowing your brains out over this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we had some good ideas going, and I kind of knew what I wanted to talk about today, but I was kind of going off in random directions. We did get sidetracked, but I mean, there's really, like I said, there's not that much information right now. I'm just going with what I got and what we got. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Until we know more, I won't be talking about Israel. If you buy the Skyhawk Premium, good luck. I mean, it's a ground attacker, and you're going to be playing it in Arabi. You don't have a tech tree to grind. So,
Of course, King.
of course, King. Oh, yeah. But anyways, guys, so probably, if I can, tomorrow, probably stream some World of Warships or something. Maybe, if I feel like it. Well, other than that,
You won't.
yeah, I probably won't. I'll catch you guys later. So, see ya. And, stay shalom. I don't know. I want to say something is funny. Jewish funny. But
Enjoy this video and have your own opinions, because this man's opinion is completely wrong, and your opinion is different than this person's opinion, and you probably will like the Israelis coming to War Thunder. I'll probably enjoy the Israelis.
I like the Israelis coming to War Thunder. It's just that, like, it's kind of
Bad
fucked.
timing. Bad timing.
Bad timing. We're really late to the party. We're at the after party of the party with Israel. So.
Yeah, it's just War Thunder in the last like couple of years. It's just everything's been a bit late to the party.
Oh yeah. All right, that's it. See you guys later. Say goodbye, Soviet. Somebody, come on. Amogus Tech Tree win.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
exactly.